guys, if you're watching this, the full episode with Michelle is linked in the description below. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, but enjoy this clip from the episode. Oh, I didn't even mention, and also I wanted to mention that we're using Zoom. This is my first time using Zoom, and I'm trying to cover up my ugly hotel room in the background with an image from The Office. So this is me being Jim. With your series, Challenge Accepted, and right out the gate, I'm curious, like, how many people does it take to produce this? How long does it take from your idea to hitting upload? Oh, because it's a lot.
Yeah. So well, first of all, thank you so much for having me on your podcast. Super excited to be here. Hello, listeners. For anyone who doesn't know, like Sarah mentioned, I have a series on my channel called Challenge Accepted. And basically in that series, I choose a community, lifestyle, or profession to completely immerse myself in for anywhere from 1 to 12 months. So that can range, like Sarah mentioned, from going to Marine boot camp, to training with NASA astronauts, to entering a beauty pageant and showing all the behind the scenes of that. So I'm just a curious person, and I love pushing myself to the absolute limit. So that's where it comes from. In terms of how long the episodes take to make, they really can take anywhere from 3 to 12 months in terms of concept to execution.
Oh my gosh, 3 to 12 months. So what are the ones that have lasted 12 months?
So the most recent Challenge Accepted episode that came out Sunday the 29th is one where I went to FBI Academy, and that video we began in June of 2019. So it's been 9 months. And a lot of that was, we reached out to the FBI. Actually, it was May of 2019 when we reached out to them, and their approval process just to approve someone to come and do what we wanted to do took 12 weeks because they've never ever let any reality show or YouTuber or anybody come and film what FBI Academy is actually like. So it was a really big deal. Then we got to film in September, and then we edited and had a big long approval process for getting it all okayed by the US government and it went live. So yeah, that's one. Another one that took a long time was I did a video where I tried to become a runway model, and I didn't think it would be that hard.
Yeah. You're like, I've been a cop, a firefighter, no big deal, right?
I certainly didn't think it would be our longest production of an episode ever. But it took 12 months to make, an entire year, because I just kept getting rejected from every fashion show I applied to because of how short I am.
Wow.
There were times where, for example, I got very far in one specific application process to be a model for a designer. And then they're like, oh, we love your look. We love like what you're doing. And we love the idea of your video. And the second I mentioned my height, they're like, oh, you can't walk for us. Sorry. Like, we're super about inclusivity, but we just can't have short people walk. And I was like, how can you say that you're all for inclusivity, but then you don't want people of different heights to walk? I didn't think that it would be such an obstacle, but it definitely was. But we
out
finally
of curiosity,
found,
how tall are you?
I'm 5'2". So I'm like a foot shorter than most runway models are. But we finally found a designer who was willing to let me walk, and I ended up becoming the shortest person ever to walk London Fashion Week last year. So that was really cool, and a little bit of fun revenge for everyone who rejected me.
No, I love that. And out of sheer determination or strength, like, what was the biggest one that put the biggest toll on your body? Because when I was watching that FBI one, it was right after the firefighter, and when you were jumping in that cold pool of water and like having to put on a wet sweatshirt, but then in the FBI camp you had to do all these different challenges and obstacles, and then emotionally it seems like it's really tolling. What was the biggest challenge for your body and your mind?
Oh my gosh, that's a really good question.
All of the above.
It's funny because I think that all of the communities we explore have their own set of unique challenges, for lack of a better word. And it's like an apples to oranges comparison. I, in some ways, would say Marines was the hardest training.
Forgot about that one.
But it's because they're yelling at you the whole time and you're dealing with that mental stress. Being in a beauty pageant is a ton of physical and mental stress because you're training 6 days a week to look good in a swimsuit for 10 seconds on a runway in front of a panel of judges. And then you're also having to answer difficult political questions under pressure. But I think the most unique physical challenges were probably Police Academy and Fire Academy, because in Police Academy, I experienced getting tased and pepper sprayed, which is not necessarily like a feat of strength, but it is something that I would never wish upon anybody else. And something I didn't realize that police experience during their training. I always thought they just have these tools to use against people, against bad guys, I guess. But I didn't realize that in training, you actually get hooked up to a taser, and the instructor says, if you're going to administer this to somebody else, you need to know what pain you're causing someone else.
Wow. Wow.
So that was terrifying. And then, of course, Fire Academy is difficult as well because you're literally going in a burning building. And before I went in the burning building, they're like, if you take your mask off, this isn't a simulation. You're going to die. Like, don't do it, you know? And you're in there and it's hot. And what I love about the videos is I learned so much that we take for granted. For example, firefighters, I don't think people think enough about how when they just suit up, just the gear alone plus the air tank is 60 to 80 pounds that they're carrying while they're carrying victims, while they're lifting pieces of wood of a collapsed house or building. So it's amazing. It's really amazing what these people do. And I feel really excited and fortunate that we can give these everyday heroes a platform to be seen and heard in a new way.